You are living inside a timeline. You wake up in it. You move through your day in it. You go to sleep inside of it. It feels solid. It feels real. It feels like the only thing that's possible for you. But it's not the only one available to you. Right now, all around you, endless versions of reality are vibrating. They exist just out of sight, just out of reach, waiting to be pulled into your experience. They are not far away, in some other dimension. They are here, layered on top of your current life, like radio stations playing different songs on channels you haven't yet tuned into. And yet, most people remain locked inside a single loop. They live out the same patterns, the same results, the same frustrations, year after year. They wake up wondering why nothing changes, even though they pray for it, work for it, beg the universe for a sign. But let's break something here. You are not stuck because of fate. You are not stuck because of destiny or bad luck. You are stuck because your system, your mind, your body, your emotions, your very energy is still set to the old timeline. You can't break free by wishing for it. You can't escape by forcing it. You can't trick the universe by pretending. A quantum shift isn't about wanting something more. It's about stepping into a new state of being so completely, so smoothly, that the universe has no choice but to show you a different reality. It has to, because you've become a match for it. Let me explain. Most people think getting what they want is about desire. They believe that if they want it badly enough, if they can feel that burning want, then eventually, the universe will deliver. That's the story we've been told. But here's the truth no one tells you. Desire alone does nothing. The universe doesn't respond to how badly you want change. It responds to how aligned you are with the energy of that change. Right now, even if you say all the right words, make the vision boards, do the visualizations, you might still be signaling the old timeline. Because under the surface, your body is still wired for the familiar. Your nervous system is still looping old emotions. Your deeper mind is still sending signals of fear, doubt, and not enough. Even while your conscious mind is shouting, I want wealth, I want love, I want success. And here's the part that changes everything. The universe listens to the strongest signal, not the loudest one. Let that sink in. The strongest signal comes from your whole vibration. Not just what you think, but what you feel, what you expect in your bones, what you show in your posture, your breath, your habits. That's why you can say, I am wealthy, 1,000 times a day. But if your body tightens every time you pay a bill, the universe picks up the worry, not the words. That's why you can picture love all day long. But if your heart is closed off, the universe sees the isolation, not the picture. This is the trap, the loop that keeps people spinning. They think change starts outside, with actions, with results. But the real shift begins inside. It starts with your state. You must become the version of you that already lives in the timeline you want. Not someday. Not when you see proof. Now. Because all possibilities already exist. Every version of you, every outcome, every timeline, they are all here, vibrating in the field of all possibility. When you shift your vibration, you are not creating something from nothing. You're stepping into the version that was waiting for you all along. You are tuning the radio to the station that was always playing your song. So the question is not, how do I get what I want? The real question is, who do I need to become, in my energy, to line up with the timeline where that already exists? And becoming is not pretending. It's not faking it until you make it. It's not performing for the universe. Becoming is a full body, full soul shift into alignment. This is the beginning of the shift. You are not here to fight the old timeline. You are here to rise into the energy of the new one. But before we go deeper, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what version of me has been making my choices today? The fearful one, the overwhelmed one, the one who doesn't feel good enough. What timeline have I been feeding with my focus, my attention, my energy? The one of struggle, the one of lack. Are you ready to let that version go, so a new one can appear? Sit with that, because next, we'll talk about the invisible forces that keep you locked in the old loop, the resistance, the emotional memories, the patterns that pull you back, the part no one warns you about. Are you ready to see it? So, let's talk about the real reason people don't shift. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they don't want change enough. And it's definitely not because they're doing it wrong. It's because they're still connected to the version of themselves that is wired to live in the old timeline. And that version, even if it's painful, is familiar. And the deeper mind loves the familiar more than it loves progress. It believes familiar means safe. The old timeline doesn't need your permission to keep playing. It just needs your participation. Every time you react the same way, tell the same story, expect the same outcome, the signal gets stronger. It's like a path in your brain. The more you walk it, the easier it is to follow. Soon, you're not choosing your timeline anymore. It's choosing you. Now here's where science and the mind meet in a way most people miss. In physics, the observer effect tells us that the act of looking at something can change it. But here's the twist. You're not just observing reality with your eyes. You're observing it with your beliefs, your emotions, your expectations. Science also tells us that around 95% of your behavior is run by your subconscious mind. That's the part of you storing all your conditioning, all your fears, all your beliefs about who you are. It runs the show, quietly, from behind the curtain. This means that most of the time, it's not your conscious intention shaping your world, it's your programming. Let that land. You're trying to create from the 5% of you that's awake, while the 95% is still tuned to fear, scarcity, and survival. And remember, the universe responds to the strongest signal. So when someone says, "This doesn't work," what they really mean is, "I haven't yet shifted the inner me that's creating my reality." That's why people get stuck in loops. You can change your job, your partner, your city, and still find the same patterns waiting for you. Because nothing outside you has the power to change an inner energy that hasn't been changed. The timeline can't shift if the person living in it hasn't. So what's holding you in the old one? Usually it's resistance, and resistance is sneaky. It rarely shows up as a loud no. It shows up as overthinking, as putting things off, as feeling numb, as being busy, but getting nowhere, as fear disguised as logic, as that voice that says be realistic, or the sudden need to clean the house, the exact moment you sit down to be still. But resistance always comes down to one thing. Your system believes it's safer to stay where you are, even if you hate it, than to jump into the unknown. And that belief doesn't just live in your mind. It lives in your body, stored pain, hidden emotions, fears you learned from others. They're written into your nervous system, into your very cells. That's why you can know something in your head, but still not be able to live it. That's why positive words feel empty, why visualizations fade, why you keep falling back into the same old cycles. Because the resistance isn't just in your thoughts, it's in your body's chemistry. When your nervous system is stuck in alert, it sends a constant signal of danger to the universe. Even when your mouth says, "I'm ready," your body whispers, "Danger." That conflict keeps bringing the same results. It's not personal, it's law. Your life is a frequency. Your thoughts, your emotions, your posture, your breath, they all create a pattern, a vibration, a signal. That signal either matches your desired timeline, or it repels it. That's why people feel drawn to sacred numbers like 369 or 777. Why certain shapes, sounds, or symbols seem to call them. Deep down they sense that the universe speaks in patterns. Nothing is random. Everything is frequency. You are not just a person living a life. You are an energy source inside a responsive field, and for a long time, you've been sending out the same old pattern, mistaking that signal for who you are. But here's the good news. You don't have to fight that pattern. You just have to stop feeding it. So let me ask you, where are you still vibrating in fear while saying you have faith? Where are you still preparing for rejection while searching for love? Where are you still trying to attract abundance while secretly believing you don't deserve it? These quiet conflicts are what give the old timeline its power. In the next part, we'll explore what it really takes to shift timelines, not in theory, but in real, lived practice. We'll look at how to align the conscious and subconscious, how to calm the body into balance, and how to start showing up as the version of you who already lives in the new reality. But before we move forward, pause. If something inside you feels like it's waking up, if something clicks, if you feel that pull toward possibility, then stay close. And if this message speaks to you, take a breath. Whisper the word for the loop you're ready to break. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's lack, maybe it's silence, maybe it's not enough. Whatever it is, name it. Not for me, for you. Because naming the loop is the first step in breaking it. You've named your loop. You've seen the pattern. Now, the real work begins. Because awareness is the light switch. But embodiment is what keeps the light on. Let's go deeper. Every thought creates a chemical. Every emotion creates a frequency. And your body learns that frequency like a song. It's played for years. Fear, worry, guilt. These aren't just feelings. They're rehearsed vibrations. Memories the body keeps replaying, even when the mind wants to move on. It's like trying to drive to a new city, while your GPS is still locked onto the old address. No matter how hard you press the gas, you'll keep circling the same streets until you reprogram the destination. That's what shifting really means. It's not about escaping reality. It's about retuning the frequency of who you are. You can't think your way into a new timeline. You have to feel your way there. That's the secret mystics, monks, and quantum pioneers all discovered. The body is the bridge. When your nervous system feels safe, your energy becomes coherent. Your mind, heart, and breath move in rhythm. And coherence is what tells the universe, I'm ready. That's why stillness is so powerful. That's why silence feels uncomfortable at first. Because when you stop running, your body starts talking. It tells you where the pain lives. It shows you the patterns you've buried. It reveals every frequency that's still wired to fear. And that's the moment of truth. Because healing isn't about fixing yourself. It's about listening to the parts of you that have been screaming to be heard. You don't need to fight your fear. You need to hold it, like a child that's been waiting for safety. You don't need to kill your ego. You need to teach it that it's no longer in charge. You don't need to force your energy to rise. You need to relax into remembering that it already knows how. When you stop resisting your resistance, you begin to move beyond it. Because what you resist persists, and what you face dissolves. The old version of you, the one that's afraid, limited, doubtful, it isn't your enemy. It's the keeper of lessons you've outgrown. So before you release it, thank it. Thank it for protecting you, for helping you survive, for doing its best with the information it had. Gratitude is the frequency that unlocks all doors. When you thank your past self, the energy that once trapped you transforms into power. This is what happens when people say, I finally let go. They didn't let go of the dream. They let go of the tension holding it hostage. They stopped trying to control the outcome and started trusting the unfolding. And that trust is magnetic. It changes your posture, your eyes, your voice, your field. The universe feels it. People feel it. Opportunities feel it. Because alignment isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. So how do you begin to reprogram your field? Start small. When fear arises, pause. Don't analyze. Don't label. Just breathe into the exact place in your body where it lives. Breathe until the tension softens, until the emotion moves, until your body remembers what safety feels like again. That's how you change your frequency. Not by thinking, but by feeling differently. You begin to broadcast a new signal, and that signal starts attracting a new timeline. Your outer world starts to reorganize itself around your new inner vibration. Not because of luck, because that's how energy works. Quantum physics calls it coherence. Spiritual traditions call it faith. But it's the same thing. When your energy and your intention finally agree, reality follows. You stop manifesting from desperation and start creating from embodiment. You stop asking, when will it happen? And start saying it's already becoming. Because at that level, time isn't linear. It's responsive, and you are the response point. The more you practice presence, the more your body learns to stay in peace, and the more peace becomes your baseline, the easier it is for your higher timeline to lock in. You stop chasing, you start attracting, you stop searching for signs, and you start being the sign, because the most powerful frequency in the universe is a calm, coherent human being who knows who he is. In the next part, we'll explore how to step fully into that alignment, how to walk as the version of you that already lives in the new frequency, not as an idea, not as a practice, but as your natural state. You've reprogrammed the signal. You've started calming the body. Now, we enter the phase where it all becomes real. This is the part where thought turns into being, where intention becomes identity, where the idea of who you want to be becomes the energy you live as every single day. Here's the truth most people never understand. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And the universe doesn't speak English, it speaks frequency. So when you say, I want peace, but your body vibrates with tension, the universe hears tension. When you say, I'm abundant, but your nervous system is still bracing for loss, the universe hears lack. When you say, I'm ready for love, but deep down you still expect rejection, the field hears fear. It always mirrors your most dominant vibration, not your most hopeful thought. So embodiment isn't about pretending to be confident. It's about remembering the frequency of who you already are, beneath the programming. Because the truth is, you've never been disconnected from your higher self. You've just been tuned to static. That static, the fear, the stories, the survival patterns, it isn't your true signal, it's interference. The higher self never left. It's been waiting for you to listen again. So how do you embody the new identity? Not by forcing it, not by affirming it until you're exhausted, but by acting from it, moment by moment. When you wake up in the morning, don't ask, what do I need to do today? Ask, who am I being today? Because the moment you change the being, the doing changes automatically. The version of you who already lives your desired timeline moves differently, breathes differently, speaks differently, makes different choices. So start there. If you want to live in peace, start responding like someone who's already safe. If you want abundance, start giving, trusting, expanding like someone who already has enough. If you want love, start loving yourself with the same depth you crave from another. That's not fake it till you make it. That's be it till it matches. Every time you choose from the frequency of your new identity, you reinforce the neural and energetic pattern of that timeline. You send a stronger signal. You anchor the new reality into your field, and slowly, the outer world begins to rearrange. People shift, opportunities appear, coincidences multiply. You'll call them synchronicities, but they're really confirmations, proof that the quantum field is mirroring back your new frequency. This is also where the old timeline starts to crumble. It may feel like loss, or endings or chaos, but don't mistake that for regression. That's just the old code dissolving. The structures that once matched your lower frequency can no longer stay aligned with your higher one. So let them go. Stop trying to keep what no longer fits. Don't chase what's leaving. Don't cling to what's collapsing. You're not being punished. You're being upgraded. Sometimes the universe clears the path for the next version of you by removing everything that belongs to the old. That's what it means to shift timelines, not just mentally, energetically, completely. You're stepping into a parallel reality that already existed. And the bridge between the two is who you choose to be right now. So if you ever doubt yourself, if the mind starts questioning, am I really changing? Remember this, transformation isn't something you feel all at once. It's something you notice in the small moments, where you used to react, but now you respond, where you used to shrink, but now you breathe, where you used to doubt, but now you trust. That's growth. That's embodiment. That's the quiet proof that the shift is real. And here's the deeper secret. You don't have to chase alignment. You are alignment. The moment you stop fighting yourself, when your mind, your heart, and your body all say yes to the same direction, reality bends to meet you. That's the physics of faith. That's the mathematics of miracles. You are not waiting for the timeline to change. The timeline is waiting for you to align. Because the field doesn't move first, consciousness does. And the moment you say, I am, instead of I want, the entire universe listens. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into how to maintain the shift once it starts, how to live in coherence when the world around you still reflects the old frequency, because that is the final test of mastery. You've shifted your signal, you've reprogrammed the body, you've stepped into the new identity. Now, the question becomes, how do you stay there? Because the moment you rise in frequency, life will test the strength of your new vibration, not to punish you, but to anchor you, to see if your faith is still conditional, or if it's become your foundation. When you start living in your new timeline, you'll notice that reality doesn't always move instantly. Old reflections may still appear, old energies might still echo, people may still treat you as the version you used to be. That's normal, because remember, the outer world is just a mirror of your past vibration. The frequency you live now is what creates the reflection you'll see next. So your only job is to keep holding the new state, even when the old one tries to pull you back, even when the evidence isn't here yet, even when your mind starts whispering, nothing's changing. That's when you remind yourself, I am not waiting for it to happen. It's already happening, right now, through me. See, mastery isn't about controlling reality. It's about becoming so coherent inside that reality has no choice but to match you. You no longer chase alignment, you embody it. You no longer fight the storm, you become the calm. That's the point where manifestation stops being a practice and becomes a presence. You'll start noticing moments of deep silence inside, moments where you don't need proof anymore, moments where you can feel the new timeline, even before you see it. That's not imagination, that's resonance. The universe speaks through feeling first, then form. And the more you trust that feeling, the faster the form catches up. So here's how you live in your new timeline. You wake up in gratitude, not because everything's perfect, but because you finally realize everything's connected. You walk slower, you breathe deeper, you speak with intention. You no longer rush to fix, you allow. You no longer seek validation. You move through life with quiet certainty, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything, because it's already aligned with everything. That's when people start saying, you've changed. But what they really mean is, you've tuned yourself to a higher frequency. And that's the truth. You haven't become someone new. You've remembered who you really are. Because awakening isn't about adding more. It's about removing what was never you. Every fear, every limitation, every lie you believed, they were just dust on the mirror. And now, you're clean, clear, luminous. That's what living in the new timeline feels like. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's peaceful, centered, stable. And from that stillness, creation becomes effortless. You start noticing that what you need arrives without struggle. Doors open before you knock. People appear at the perfect moment. Ideas flow with ease. You begin to live in flow. Not because you're lucky, but because you're finally aligned. And here's the final truth. The universe is not testing you. It's responding to you. Every challenge, every delay, every silence is just a reflection of how deeply you trust your new state. So when you feel resistance return, don't panic. Just pause, breathe. Remember the frequency you now live from. Because the real sign of evolution isn't that the challenges disappear. It's that you respond from a higher level each time they come. You've learned to meet fear with stillness, doubt with presence, uncertainty with faith. That's mastery. That's embodiment. That's what it means to live in the new timeline. So take a breath right now. Feel the weight leave your shoulders. Feel the space open in your chest. Feel the peace that's been waiting underneath your thoughts. That's it. That's your true frequency. Hold it, trust it, live from it, and the universe will rearrange itself around you, because it always does. You've remembered who you are. You've shifted timelines. Now, live there. And now, you've reached the end of the shift. But the truth is, there was never an end. Only remembering. You didn't learn something new. You remembered something ancient, something that's been humming beneath your heartbeat all along. You are not a traveler moving through time. Time moves through you. You are not chasing alignment. You are the source it flows from. You are not asking the universe for signs. You are the sign, the frequency, the answer. From this moment on, walk as the one who knows, speak as the one who remembers, breathe as the one who has arrived, because you have. This version of you, the calm one, the aware one, the magnetic one, is not becoming. He is. And every breath you take from this space anchors that truth deeper into your body. So when life brings noise, return to the silence beneath it. When the world moves fast, slow down enough to feel your power again. When fear whispers, smile and remember. You've already walked beyond it. This is what awakening feels like. Not a burst of light, but a steady flame that never goes out. Now say this quietly, not to the world, but to yourself. I am already home. I am already aligned. I am already everything I was searching for. Let those words vibrate through your field. Let them echo through your cells. Let them remind you that you are not just part of the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself as you. So go live, not as a seeker, but as a creator. Not as a question, but as the answer. Go live, as the timeline that finally remembered itself. The shift is complete.